Tonight, the heat wave turns to hell in Melbourne, where homes are ablaze as we go to air. We'll cross live to the fire front. Cake in Carobbecan, a prison party planned to farewell Schapelle Corby. Aussie Alpine Queen Tora Bright just a couple of hours away from her shot at Olympic history. And a tiny blessing, the remarkable little boy who fought like a heavyweight. His story will melt your heart.
This is 10 Eyewitness News with Mike Munro.
Good evening. As we go to air tonight, homes are burning on the outskirts of Melbourne as the heat wave takes a cruel and punishing turn for the worst. Authorities are calling it the worst fire emergency since Black Saturday 5 years ago. The fires, which have been taunting the city's eastern outskirts all day, have only just bared their teeth in the past few hours. Charnel Vella and Matt Gallant are covering them. Charnel is in Warrandyte, where access by firefighters is cut off by the Yarra River. Charnel, anyone hurt?
Good evening, Mike. I can confirm that there have been no reported injuries. However, that shouldn't downgrade exactly how extreme these fires have been. A southwesterly wind change put homes right in the path of this fire. I can confirm 3 homes here have been destroyed. Of course, a number of resources have been thrown at this fire. More than 150 firefighters, 20 trucks, 2 aircraft from above, and of course, strike teams were all deployed onto this fire. However, it wasn't the worst in Victoria. That is in Beveridge, just north of Melbourne, where 200 firefighters are battling an extremely fast-moving blaze, and several homes have been lost there also. I can confirm there, though, there haven't been any injuries.
And is there anything else in the path of this fire?
Mike, here in Warrandyte, more than 100 homes have been evacuated, and while the fire is contained, it still remains very much out of control. The CFA are reminding residents that if they are not at home at the moment, they should not be returning to this area. If they are in Warrandyte, well, they need to enact their fire plans immediately.
Thanks, Charnel. Still to come, the heartwarming story of a newborn's struggle for life. Down to the wire, Labor claims a victory in Kevin Rudd's old seat. Tony Abbott takes on the unions with a royal commission into corruption. Plus, hopes fade for a shark attack victim off South Australia. And the suffocating cost of childcare, now more expensive than private school. Police divers have found weights and a fishing spear close to where an Adelaide high school teacher was taken by a shark off South Australia's Yorke Peninsula. His family now expects the worst. Jessica Braithwaite has more. And now to the weather with Amanda Duval. Amanda?
Good afternoon, Mike. Of course, across the southeast, we are seeing some catastrophic fire dangers across parts of the southeast. We've had extremely hot conditions, and that heat has been building for a number of days now. Very strong winds today. Now, the severe weather warning across Victoria for the damaging winds we had seen has now been lifted, but some exposed areas near the coast are still seeing wind gusts of over 90 kilometres per hour. Across Tasmania, we've also been seeing gusts of over 100 kilometres per hour, and that has been increasing the dangers due to fires right across the day. Now, we actually reached 40 degrees in Melbourne by midday today, but temperatures are feeling a much more comfortable mid-20s now. In Brisbane here at the moment, things are looking a little on the cloudy side. That is how it has been this weekend, but it's actually allowed those temperatures to remain quite comfortable as a result. Today we saw those temperatures getting into the high 20s. We got to a top of 29 degrees, and we are going to see things pretty much staying dry, but of course a little bit cloudy. In Sydney today, we got to 28 degrees. You'll notice that conditions will be feeling a little bit windy along the coast as we get into the evening, but it has been quite a nice weekend. But a scorching 38 degrees is where it got to in Canberra today, and yes, it was very hot in Melbourne as well. 40 degrees, of course, and we've been seeing wind gusts of over 80 kilometres per hour across the city. Now for Adelaide today, it's been much cooler today. We got to 28 degrees, but we are going to be seeing heat rebuilding by tomorrow. And in Hobart, we got to 35 degrees, but we are seeing temperatures just sitting at 15 degrees at the moment, thanks to that southwesterly wind change. So tomorrow, things feeling quite slightly cooler across Victoria and Tasmania, but I will have your state-by-state forecast a little later in the Bulletin. Thanks, Mike.
Amanda Duval. Up next, $1 million reward for information on South Australia's most notorious crimes. Plus, later in sport, the good and bad from an exciting opening day on the Sochi slopes. And the injury curse continues for Shane Watson, just days out from Australia's first test against South Africa. Four young men have been charged over the claim of sexual assault and torture of another man on the Gold Coast. Police say the armed group restrained the 18-year-old before physically and sexually assaulting him for 9 hours at a Southport home. The four men, aged between 18 and 20, have been charged with torture, sexual assault and deprivation of liberty. Still to come, a check on our top headlines. And the soaring cost of childcare forcing families to send their children to school early. Returning to our top story, Victoria's worst bushfire emergency since Black Saturday. Homes have been lost as emergency crews battle high winds and fast-moving fires on Melbourne's outskirts. Charnel Vella joins us again from Warrandyte. Charnel, any changing conditions? There's a big chance we'll be celebrating our first medal of the Sochi Games later tonight. Adam Hawse has the details. What do you reckon, Adam?
Mike, very confident. Fingers are crossed anyway, because Tora Bright, she will be going for gold in the slope-style event. We'll cross live to Sochi for all the build-up straight after the break. Also, we'll have all the highlights and lowlights from day one as the hopes of some go cold. Relations between Sydney FC fans and Frank Farina turn icy after the Sky Blues crash to Adelaide. Plus, what happens when your car blows up at 500 kilometres an hour. We'll show you more incredible pictures shortly. Good evening. Tora Bright will attempt to win Australia's first medal at the Sochi Games later tonight when she competes in the slope-style final. 10 reporter Scott McKinnon is there. Scotty, is Tora a genuine chance of stepping onto the podium?
Hawse, she is a great chance because this course behind me, it is big, it is extremely intimidating. We've seen a few girls stack already this morning, and a lot of the girls have admitted they are very scared indeed, but not our Tora Bright. That's just the way she likes it, so fingers crossed for her. But look, it has been an incredible 24 hours here in Sochi. Let's have a look at some of the action so far.
Mike, but tonight all about Tora.
Tora. Thanks, Adam. Coming up next, Amanda Duval has all the weather details.
Good evening. We've had some horrific fire dangers across southeastern parts of Australia today due to very hot conditions and a gusty southwesterly wind change that has brought us gusts of over 100 kilometres per hour across the southeast. But we'll take a look at what's in store tomorrow. You can see on the synoptic chart that although it is cooler across parts of the southeast today, that heat will be rebuilding and we'll start seeing temperatures getting into the mid-30s or even the high 30s across parts of South Australia from tomorrow. Eventually, that heat will again filter into Victoria and Tasmania, so unfortunately this respite from the heat does not last for long. Across Queensland though, it is all about the wet weather in the very far north of the state, and it's thanks to the monsoon trough which has been driving in some very heavy rain, in fact record-breaking rain for parts of northern Queensland. Much of the state will see scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, but we are going to see drier conditions for southeastern districts, although in the afternoon we can't rule out the chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. For Longreach, we'll see a max of 37 degrees. Now, the heat is building west of the ranges across New South Wales tomorrow. In the very far northeast of the state particularly, it will be quite hot. In Tamworth, we'll get to a scorching top of 40 degrees. Thanks to a cooler south to southeasterly change moving through New South Wales, though, central parts of the coast and adjacent inland could see cloudy conditions, a little bit of drizzle, but we could see some afternoon showers and thunderstorms for the northern inland as well, particularly after the heating of that day. Across Victoria, we are going to see dry conditions returning. Now, temperatures will be feeling slightly more comfortable, but as I mentioned earlier, that heat will be returning quite quickly. Now, we're going to see temperatures getting to just 25 degrees for Ballarat, while across Tasmania, it's feeling a lot more comfortable here. For Launceston, we'll get to a max of 25 degrees. Generally, dry conditions here, although in the southwest, there is the chance of just 1 or 2 showers creeping through. Now, across South Australia, dry conditions for pretty much the whole state. It's just in the far northeast of the state that we could be seeing some afternoon showers or thunderstorms developing for the afternoon and also for the evening. Now, although it is remaining a little more comfortable near coastal areas, Victor Harbour will get to 24 degrees. We are going to be seeing temperatures soaring again in other areas, particularly over the next few days to come. For Western Australia, it's northern areas and through the west we're seeing showers and thunderstorms, particularly heavy falls in the far north thanks to a tropical low, and it's the northern half of the NT that's also seeing the heavier rain and thunderstorms. For Geraldton, we'll get to a max of 30 degrees, 36 for Alice Springs. But let's dive into our capital cities and see what's in store for the next week to come. Now, across Brisbane, we are going to have some dry conditions for at least the next few days to come. It will be partly cloudy and temperatures still feeling quite comfortable. We're looking at tops of 30 or in the very low 30s. Across Sydney, though, we are going to see some cooler conditions for the next few days. It's thanks to that cooler southerly change that's currently moving through. So a cloudy day tomorrow with a bit of drizzle and then 1 or 2 showers clearing on Tuesday. In Canberra, temperatures will be back on the warmth, but not quite as hot as what we saw today when we got to 38 degrees, 33 tomorrow, 34 for you on Tuesday, and looking dry for at least the next few days to come. In Melbourne tomorrow, feeling much cooler, 24 degrees, but we'll notice those temperatures reach 33 degrees again by Wednesday, while for Hobart, feeling much more comfortable tomorrow as well. We get to a max of 21 degrees tomorrow, then 23 on Tuesday. In Adelaide, temperatures will reach 39 degrees by Tuesday, and we'll see temperatures potentially getting into the 40 degrees once again. Now, we are going to be seeing some hot conditions across the southeast. We'll monitor those closely over the next few days. From here in Brisbane, have a good evening.
Thanks, Amanda. Well, that's 10 Eyewitness News for tonight. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.